how we going there? This is the Cornerpost right here on Knowledge Acquired. And how we going there today, guys? Hopefully everybody is having a good old time. Normally do this on Twitch, but have decided to swap over to Facebook just because it's a little bit easier. So, yeah, just going to be a quick show today, guys. Just going to do a bit of a quick little wrap-up on Extreme Rules that happened a few weeks ago. And also do the Money in the Bank predictions for the Cornerpost guys. So Matt, myself, Anthony, and Beck. So starting off with Extreme Rules, guys, I got to say, give myself a big old pat on the back. I did pick the winner of the number one contenders, Samoa Joe. So coming up at the aptly titled Great Balls of Fire, which will be happening in a few weeks' time, which we will be doing another live show once again. It'll be Brock Lesnar versus Samoa Joe for the Universal title. So it will be quite interesting to actually see what happens going into that match for the future as well. Also, guys, so from Extreme Rules, nothing major happen-wise. So that will pretty much do us for a wrap-up of that. So we move on to Money in the Bank. As I get my graphics fixed up here, because I decided to put everything back to front. There we go. Okay. Rightio. So Money in the Bank. So that is this Monday morning for us in Australia. So if you are watching on Foxtel, so watching on Main Event or whatever, if not on the WWE Network, it's about 10 o'clock Monday morning for us. So, yeah. So we're starting off with the first match. So we'll start off with the tag team titles, which will be the New Day versus the Usos. Nice little match happening here. New Day have just come back from Kofi Kingston's injury hiatus. So that is a thing. It's going to be quite interesting to actually see how this match goes, because the Usos have been the ones that have been running the show basically on SmackDown Live for a couple of months since winning the titles back from American Alpha. There doesn't seem to be another tag team compatible at the moment. These two pretty much are the top two guys doing their thing pretty much going forward. So, yeah, this is going to be a bit of an interesting match. There's been a bit of banter backwards and forwards. You know, the New Day are the new crew that have come over from Raw in the Superstar Shake-Up. And the Usos have been at SmackDown since it went live back in June last year, whenever it was. So, yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here. Matt has gone for the New Day to win the championships. Beck, Anthony, and myself are all sticking with the Usos for this one. So, a fairly simple, easy match. There's not a lot of matches on this card, so I'm not sort of expecting anything too major to happen, but you never know. It could be a title change. It may not be. We'll see going in to the live match anyway. So up next is the women's match. So Naomi versus Alana. Quite interesting here. Alana's just debuted after about 10 vignettes over the last few weeks. So she'll be making her main roster debut, and what a better way to do it than to actually win a championship. So it could be quite interesting to see what actually happens here. I'm not expecting this to be a standout match on the card. It'll be a very good match, but I'm not expecting it to be a really big standout on the card. Naomi won the title back at WrestleMania, so no doubt she will probably retain on this pay-per-view, but Alana does look like she may have a bit of wrestling skill. We don't know. For those of you who are watching that don't know much about Lana, she's pretty much just been a ring valet for Rusev, which is her on-screen and real-life husband now. So not much of a wrestling ability that she's been given the ability to show. So it will be interesting to actually see what does and doesn't happen with her for this match going forward. So keep an eye on this match. It could be a bit of a sleeper, or it could also be a bit of an interesting match to watch. But Matt probably has the pick of the bunch. He's calling this a toilet break, so he's not going to be watching this one. Beck, Anthony, and myself have all backed Naomi to retain the championship, so we're not expecting a huge amount out of this, but we will see, obviously on Monday, what does happen, if anything does happen. There has been talk that they may put the belt on Lana, but I'm not expecting it to actually happen. So, yeah. Rightio, so we move on to probably one of the most important matches on the card, and this is the first ever women's Money in the Bank ladder match. So for those of you who don't know what a Money in the Bank ladder match is, basically 5, 6, 7 people, however many they decide to put in the match, battle to get a briefcase, which is hanging above the ring. So that's the idea behind a ladder being in there, or multiple ladders being in there, as we've seen in the past. And yeah, the winner will get a contract for a 1 year, cash in at any time to get a shot at the championship. So for the women's, this will be the women's title, obviously. For the men's, it'll be the men's heavyweight championship or the WWE championship. So yeah, so this is the women's match. So we have Natalya, Charlotte, Tamina, Becky Lynch, and Carmella. So they're the 5 women that have been chosen for this inaugural women's Money in the Bank ladder match, which should be a really good match. I'm not expecting this to steal the show, but I'm expecting it to be really, really good. This is the first opportunity that the women have actually had to compete on the same level as the men, to be given the same opportunity to win the Money in the Bank briefcase. And we've seen in the past, if you're a constant wrestling fan, we have seen in the past that this briefcase does present a lot of opportunity, and it's a silly stat, like about 91% of people who have held the briefcase have successfully cashed in and won the title. So yeah, that is interesting for those who actually have the title, and this will be the first women's case, like I've said before. So it will be interesting to see who actually walks out with the title. So it is pretty much unanimous. Beck, Matt, and Anthony have all picked Charlotte to win. I'm actually going to go Becky Lynch. I think she's probably got the best chance to make an impact with it, because the idea behind the briefcase, or the Money in the Bank briefcase, I should say, it's kind of given to an obscure superstar is probably the best way to put it. It's not so much given to somebody who's been a multi-time champion before, even though John Cena's won the men's one before. Yeah, it's a good storyline build-up as well. So guys have used it, good guys, bad guys. They've used it to help elevate themselves to a higher capacity. Probably one of the best ever cash-ins was Edge. Cashed it in a few times, and you've also got Dolph Ziggler, who won it. Probably one of the biggest pops in recent professional wrestling memory was when he cashed in after WrestleMania on Alberto Del Rio on Monday Night Raw, and the crowd went absolutely ballistic. So yeah, a lot of the cases have been in after matches as well. So the title's been defended, it's been won or lost depending on whoever won the title, and then the person with the briefcase has come in and actually cashed in there and then, had a match and won the title. So yeah, for me, I'm going to go Becky Lynch just for the elevation factor. But Beck, Matt, and Anthony all went with Charlotte. So they're going with the most consistent. Charlotte's looking at becoming only the second person to ever hold the Raw Women's title as well as the SmackDown Women's title. So that will be quite a bit of an interesting feat if she does do that. But she won't be the first. Alexa Bliss was the first to do it, so Charlotte will only be the second. Yeah, so that's why I'm going to go Becky Lynch, just because it's a bit more of a story maker than anything else. Up next, we have the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Now this, honest to God, can go to anybody. I don't know who is going to win this one, but it can literally go to any one of these 6 superstars, to be honest with you. And all of them have a clause to hold the briefcase. All of them have a clause to actually win the title by cashing in the briefcase. So the guy that probably doesn't stand out to win it is Dolph Ziggler, because he has won it in the past before. But saying that, it has happened where guys have won the briefcase for a second time. So yeah, you can't say that nobody isn't really relevant in this match. All 6 guys can win the title, can win the briefcase, sorry. So it's Dolph Ziggler, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Baron Corbin. Now, going through everybody's picks, everybody is slightly different. So Beck has gone with Shinsuke Nakamura, which is a really, really good pick. Matt has gone with AJ Styles, which makes a ton of sense. Anthony has gone with Sami Zayn, which makes a ton of sense. So there's lots of different people here to choose from. They all have their own stories kind of leading into this. For me, I'm going to probably jump on... Oh, it's so hard. I did have Baron Corbin in because he's probably the least likeliest to probably win this, along with Dolph Ziggler. But like I've said before, the idea behind the briefcase and the Money in the Bank case is to build up these superstars. And what better way to build up superstars than by to actually have somebody, you know, relatively new to the scene actually, you know, win the title, actually win the briefcase. So it will be interesting to see what happens going forward, but I'm half tempted to go Baron Corbin, but I think I may go AJ Styles, only because he's a little bit more of a solid pick. So I might go with AJ Styles. I'll back Matt on that one. So like I said, Beck has gone Nakamura, so that makes a ton of sense. He's really only had 2 or 3 matches since being promoted to the main roster, but he is one of the biggest superstars WWE has. And if they book it right, they can go make millions with him. No worries at all. So Sami Zayn, Anthony's pick, is pretty much the underdog, as he's always been known, but he's one of the high-profile guys that, you know, under the right circumstances, could tear the house down with having the case as well. So it will be interesting to see how it actually unfolds. It should be, in all honesty, this match will be the one that steals the show. There's no saying that it won't, because, yeah, it will. It'll be one of the biggest matches on the card, probably one of the biggest matches in WWE this year, to be honest with you. Money in the Bank tends to provide a lot of excitement, a lot of drama. Having, you know, multiple ladders in the ring, the guys doing crazy stuff. Yeah, it'll be very, very interesting. So, yeah. Last but not least, probably I don't know. I don't have words for this, but probably the match that'll probably put a lot of people to sleep, in all honesty. Not that it's a bad match, but no one's really interested. Randy Orton is taking on Jinder Mahal for the WWE Championship. Certainly not the most exciting match on the card. Certainly not a match that everybody is happy about, but it's what we've got. Jinder won the title at the last SmackDown pay-per-view, beating Randy Orton for it. So he becomes the Maharaja, as he calls himself, which is king, something like that, I think it is. I can't remember. Had it written down somewhere anyway. So he's basically an Indian-based performer, the first to win the WWE title, but he's actually Canadian. So I don't really know how that works, to be honest with you. So all I can say is wrestling. Who knows? So this will be a decent match, but it's going to pale in comparison to the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. So don't expect too much, but it should be good fun. It should be good fun. So, but yeah, no one's super excited about it. Everybody, Beck, Matt, and Anthony all picked Orton to win the title back. I'm going to stick with Jinder Mahal because he was a jobber 2 months ago and now he's the world champion. So they've obviously got plans for him. The Indian market is the reason why he has become champion. So it's not through any fault of his personally. It's just how it is. So I'm going to back Mahal to retain the championship. That is it, guys. That is pretty much us for this pay-per-view. Only just a quick one. Sort of haven't got a lot of time this afternoon to... There it is. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. And, make sure you put your predictions in the chat below, right here on YouTube. Make sure to like Knowledge Acquired on Facebook and check out the Cornerpost right here on Knowledge Acquired on YouTube. And, we've been doing a Facebook Live. If this is pretty good, we will do it again in the future. So... thanks for tuning in, guys, and we will catch you next time.